Everyone, I am calling the Westborough EDC meeting to order. Today is, what did I say, December 3rd, 2024, and I don't think I have the new agenda. Do you have the new agenda?
Here.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the November 18th.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Oh, here we go. Sorry, the date's wrong. Welcome to our ambassadors, Jennifer and Allison. Good morning to you guys. And welcome to our guests here applying for the EDC committee. And that's it. We're going to start off today with, we're going to talk a little bit about, I want to talk about the year in review, the awards and deciding on that, but Karen and Dave are not here. You got it?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's
go ahead.
already us.
Yep, go for it. And you're up, Holly.
Not approving minutes.
But wait, what?
We're not approving minutes.
Oh, yeah, we have to approve the minutes.
Oh, we have to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 18th.
Is there any discussion on the minutes?
I think we just had a couple little
Oh,
things
okay.
with making sure our ambassador names were correct on there.
Yeah.
I'll make those.
Make those? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
We smushed the two names together.
But yeah, other than that, did you make the motion?
I made a motion,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll second it.
We do a roll call? We don't have anyone online, so
No,
all in
we're all
favor?
here.
Aye. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so that was November 5th meeting. Okay. And then we're going to move on to discussing the year in review event. So Holly, you have your notes?
Yeah, so Karen Chapman, Dave, and I met a couple weeks ago, I guess, and did some research. We were looking into the Massachusetts Wildlife Building, but that would be a nice venue, but they have some too small, so like 50 people or something, and they need 2 months. They only book 2 months ahead of time, so we'll stick with the Great Hall. We're still looking at the last Friday in April, and Karen said she's waiting to hear back about the speaker.
And the speaker is?
I don't remember
Okay.
what we said before. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Karen. I don't remember. I can tell you in a minute. I'll go back to that. So we went back and forth, and we just figured we would bring up a few categories, suggested categories, and we kind of hash it out a little bit. And then we had a few suggested recipients, but again, it's just a place to start, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So first category, so we had sort of 2 tiers. One was set categories, and so that they would pretty much always be the same, which is what we've done in the past: new large business, small business, which would be employees under 50, new downtown business, minority-owned business, and innovation and sustainability, like business
And
that's
those are
done.
those.
The 5.
Say the first one again?
Yep, new large business. And then small business, new downtown business, minority-owned business, and innovation and sustainability. So that's just, definitely not set in stone. We're open, we can discuss it. We just wanted to throw those out. And then the optional categories, which would kind of be as needed each year. But this year, foodie, Hall of Fame, and the Civic Pride Award.
Is there any reason that you, whoops. Is there any reason that it's just the downtown business and not a business in Westborough?
No, not, I think we were just trying to do a little bit of something focusing on downtown, but yeah, because new downtown versus new small business.
Okay,
That's why we kind of had the double categories.
gotcha, okay.
But again,
What was the break, Holly, again, on new to considered as small? 50 people?
50, yeah. 50 and over was new large, and then under 50, or 50, under 50 was small. Just as a side note, it will be wonderful, and I don't know if this would be a great project for, like, multi-tiered project for the ambassadors or something, but it would be great to get a really comprehensive list of all the businesses in town. I mean, we started that with the directory, and nobody really has that. We had a little bit from when we went out with Zach, and then that's been updated. But it would be really helpful because I think there's a lot we don't know about. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I've gotten a list from the assessor's office
Okay, great.
It's not a complete business.
Yeah.
But it's a start.
Yeah, that's great.
And then it can match it up.
That'd be great.
What Zach's done.
Yeah.
Because I think some of the ones that
Yeah.
Zach had are no
Yeah, they're
longer
gone.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's sort of the hard part.
Yeah.
Like,
Getting them together. Maybe we can do something though, I don't know.
but it's a big project.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
This is a big project. All right.
Okay.
Good morning, Christy. How are you?
We're, gonna get less food than last year, better balance of food, and everything else is pretty much the same. Karen priced out trophies, and they're roughly the same as last year, and then we've secured Christine McShane is gonna do the photography again for us this year.
Okay, cool.
So if we need to get sponsors, we can, but we'll just, looking at the budget, I don't think we're really gonna need to do that if we have it at the Great Hall.
Okay. Is there any public voting on any of these?
I think we were saying Hall of Fame and Civic Pride.
Okay. And not the foodie?
We didn't really say either way, so, I mean,
Any
and,
thoughts?
yeah, input, ideas.
Yeah, I think that one sort of drops on and off each year.
Yep,
I
right.
think the
Absolutely.
Civic Pride and Hall of Fame have been, for the last few
Oh, yeah.
years, pretty consistent.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I think we can probably discuss that further when we get more
Okay.
folks here.
Okay.
Holly, for the record,
Yeah.
did you have a budget yet or no?
I don't actually know if we do or not.
Just for
I don't
the
know,
minutes.
to be honest with you. We'll find out, though.
So that, just generally, the new small business, you're generally gonna get quite a few people that'll fall into that. The new large business may be a much smaller pool year to year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
just kinda as an out there. Sometimes you only have one or two employers that come in that are
Yeah.
over 50.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that may be one that you'd wanna kinda,
See what the.
right.
Yeah, so,
I wonder if we could even like 25 and over, 25 and under.
like, I think about like Boston Lawn, like what they're doing over there. Just,
That wouldn't fall into new, though.
you're right,
Right.
no,
Well, we
yeah.
don't-
You
Sorry.
could do innovation maybe or something. I'm not sure whether the building actually is sustainable per se, or
Yeah,
that one can kind of be a iffy one too, the sustainability element.
gotcha.
You know, hopefully we'll see more and more of that, especially Route 9, we have incentives to do sustainable moves, but we don't have a great experience with that yet, how that one will fit in.
Yeah.
And now, is it always new large business and new small business, or is it just like large business of the year, small business of the year?
I don't remember. I don't think it's necessarily been new. You're right, actually.
Yeah, I think if you want to keep these consistent, we can not have it be new.
Well, you can take the new out and just, if it is
Yeah.
new,
Yeah.
it's new. If it's,
Yeah.
but if you leave the new in, then you're kind of stuck with the new, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's the last Friday in April?
Yes. I mean, we haven't finalized the date because we're waiting on the speaker, but yeah, that's what we're hoping.
Dave, do you know who Karen's looking at?
I know she has some additional questions, and she texted me to say she's also stuck in traffic. so.
Okay.
Sandy, if I could.
Yeah.
So I think along the same lines as what Sean was saying is, it wouldn't necessarily have to be new in my mind. Maybe they've done something, maybe they've expanded, relocated within town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to the point of Boston Lawnmower, we at some point had a new development.
Yep, innovation and development.
So this one, we've got innovation and sustainability, like that seems like a little bit of a,
Yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking, like kind of coming and expanding their operations.
right.
So that was where my brain went, so.
So I think
Yeah.
certainly recognizing new companies is good, but I also think there are a lot of businesses in town who, for some reason, excuse me, in any individual year might shine for some reason.
yeah.
And I don't want to leave them out and kind of waiting, hoping that they'd get a Hall of Fame or Civic Pride Award at some point. If they're only a
Yeah.
couple of years old, it's like, it's a long time till I can get that Hall of Fame. Civic
Yeah.
Pride, maybe 50 years.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe
No,
go down to
the
just
chamber
large
has one
business.
that has kind of a broad criteria that is significant financial risk, major expansion, renovation of business, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, a catch-all like that somebody that invested heavily in their business is also a good one, yeah.
So I think, you know, hopefully we'll get the speaker secured so we can get the date secured. We have the location, we know pretty much, you know, that it's gonna be a great hall. So pretty much we can kind of play around with the awards a little bit if we want to, and figure that out. But this is really good. And maybe finalize the awards at our next meeting. So think about that.
Yeah. And
Go ahead.
Dave, I don't remember, we were gonna also throw out some of the suggested recipients, or we just wanna like think about this for a while and then come back next time?
Oh, we can throw this, some
All right.
suggestions.
These are just some stuff that we kind of went over, but again, because we don't have a comprehensive list, we're like, wait, we must be missing something. For new or just large business, because you're right, we said Cold Harbor, but they're not new, they did, you know, innovation, renovation. Salmon Health, the Willows, and Spectrum Health possibly. Small business, we didn't have any suggestions yet. New downtown business, Seed to STEM, or the Boroughs Collective, and minority-owned and innovation and sustainability, we didn't flesh out too much. And then, for the Hall of Fame, we were thinking of Harry's Restaurant and Civic Pride Award. Actually, that's something we should discuss. Community organization, possibly not a business, like maybe the Westborough Civic Club. I think, Karen, I think they had talked to you as well, right?
They had reached out just wondering about that, and, you know, is it the kind of, they didn't understand the process. They didn't know if it was something that they had to ask about or they get nominated for, but they will be, excuse me, celebrating their 50th year.
Yeah.
And so it would be, perhaps, seems to fit with the
We
Civic
thought from
Pride Award.
yeah, we thought from a civics, you know, perspective, it doesn't really even apply to businesses so much as it does to, you know, volunteer organizations or whatever.
Which again, kind of drives business and drives community and drives people to come, and, you know, so I think it's all kind of tied together.
Yeah. Well, the amount of money they raised was, did you say $1 million over their time?
Yes, more than
Yeah.
that,
More
right, that they've given out.
That they put
How
back
much
into
they've
the
put
community.
back into
Yeah.
the community.
Yeah.
So I think if we have we have a list to get started with. I know that Fred and Sean have to go a little bit early today, so I want to make sure that we get
And
through
Christie, too.
and Christie too. So I just want to make sure that we get through a lot of this. So
Perfect.
we won't vote to approve today. We'll vote to approve next month. Does that work
Yeah.
for everybody?
I think so.
Good.
Thanks.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we've got 2 EDC applicants. Islam is here today, Alaban. Laura, do you want to introduce Islam?
Sorry, I'm not really prepared. I didn't read your. Islam and I had quite a few conversations. He lives in town. He's very interested in giving back into the community. And he does have a business background, so he thought that the EDC would be a good venue for that.
Awesome, great. You want to come on up and?
Sure.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
You can just speak in the mic.
Right.
Sure.
Thanks for coming. It's early
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Thank you for the opportunity. I
Yeah,
really
it's
appreciate it.
cold this
Thank you.
morning.
I'll take just a couple of minutes to introduce myself. My name is Islam Al-Laban. I'm married. I have 2 kids, 14 and 10 years old. I live here in the town. I graduated from engineering school in Egypt, and I was lucky. I got the first job opportunity in Dubai. I moved there. I worked there for 10 years. Mega project, and I work with multinational company, and which give me actually like communication skills with different culture, working around the world. Then we decide to move to the United States, where is the American dream for my kids, for me, for my family. And I've been here since 2013. I continue doing what I'm doing for my business. I grow up my business actually. Recently, I completed my MBA from Boston University. So very much I have some technical experience and business management experience over like 20 years of this mixed experience. I hope I can bring fresh idea, motivated, innovative solution for the committee. Looking forward to work with you. Thank you for having me here again, and looking forward to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
So just, so as far as the community and all, like, what kind of drove you to apply to volunteer? Because it's a commitment,
Yes,
for sure.
Yes. So I've been doing business for last 15 years. I started like working like an engineer. Then I decided this is not me. I need to do something for myself. So I started my own company. And I'm growing up my business. I know very much what is the business challenge. I had business here in the town, I think 5-6 years ago, but unfortunately because of the pandemic, we have to close the door. So I hope with this business experience, business management, I can help the committee, talk to the business owner, looking to a new innovation solution to grow the business in Westborough. I see a lot of potential in here, and hopefully working with you will bring this potential to the table.
Awesome, thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Is Jungin, he's not,
No, he was not, he had to be, he was, I'm sorry.
no, I thought he was gonna be on Zoom, that's why.
No, he was not able, he's traveling to, like, this morning or today, he could not do either.
I had the pleasure of meeting him at a Rotary meeting a couple weeks ago, and he's really interested as well, but we're gonna table that for,
Well, I sent out his resume. You guys can decide how, how you want to, timing-wise, you want to work on this. I think the select board, though, is interested in filling the positions by the, ASAP.
yep, gotcha, okay.
Did I overspeak?
No, that's correct.
So we'll have both of them go in front of the select board.
So the other applicant, Everly, was not for the EDC, am I correct?
Was.
Am I missing?
Yeah, I think it was Gunjan.
Gunjan Love.
So I spoke with Everly
Yeah.
a few weeks, or maybe a month and a half back. She decided not to. There were 3 applicants originally.
Okay, okay.
She decided that she didn't have the time, or it wasn't for her.
Right, okay.
I suggested also maybe ambassador to get started, and then I could roll back with her in
Got it.
January
Oh,
when
okay.
we were really
I just
working on it.
I wasn't sure what happened to her name. Okay.
But
Yeah, I think she formally withdrew. but,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
And then the second one is another gentleman who lives in town. But he was, unable to, but I sent the resume so you could see his, what he was about.
I guess my question was that the letter says that joining the Advisory Finance Committee, is that,
Yeah, I believe he was interested in the EDC as well. He was, I think he has an accounting background.
Yeah, he does.
And so he was interested in some position in the town. He was very interested in bringing his, his help somewhere. And he was put in as an EDC applicant as well.
So my recommendation would be to invite Islam to go in front of the select board. He's here. He has a desire to be here. Gunjan can join another committee if, in town, if he's interested in doing that, or becoming an ambassador, but that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, and I know that, so the AFC is 9 members, 3-year terms. Those positions do come up fairly frequently. I don't think there's any current openings on the Advisory Finance Committee, but I wouldn't be surprised if something came up in the not-too-distant future there.
I think Junkin can join the ambassador committee if he wants to choose to do on that. That would be. Any thoughts on that?
No, I totally agree. I think that was a great presentation, and I think it could add some tremendous perspective to what we're trying to do.
So now you have the hard part, you have to go in front of the select board.
That's not,
Thank you so
No,
much for
not
coming
hard.
today. Well, I'm kidding.
Well,
They're a great group of people.
well,
Yes.
since we're making a recommendation to the select board, a vote should probably be taken.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so, someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to nominate,
Islam.
thank you, to the to the EDC.
I second that.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll
and-
just
Yep.
abstain.
Or say, yeah.
Sorry, and it's, sorry, I just kind of was trying to help Holly out when she was trying to find the names, but it's Islam Elaban.
Yeah,
To
Thank
make
you.
sure that,
Thank you.
great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think it could be a great addition.
Yeah, excited.
Thank you for coming forward.
All right, so ambassador program. So we just really want to, Laura and I have been talking quite a bit about the ambassadors and utilizing their services. They're here to help and to, help us kind of get out the word for the grants to the town and just to the different things that we're doing. So I did want to recognize the entire group, Pete, Jen, Allison, and the work that they're doing. Jen, I know that you did the vacant, you guys went around and do you want to come up and just talk a little bit about that? What you did with Laura and what the goal of that was for you.
Can you all hear me? Okay. Yeah, so Laura and I spent probably about 3 hours driving from one end of the town to the other, in between, up and down, all of the different plazas, some areas that she had seen before, some that she hadn't. And, as some of you know, like, vacant buildings to me just are an eyesore. And I've always thought that, okay, maybe instead of building something new, that why don't we take care of, the vacant buildings that we have, especially for people coming through that don't recognize the town as anything just than Route 9. So, when you're driving through a town or you're driving through a neighborhood and you see a vacant building or a dilapidated building or, a better use of space, kind of find out what it is, what the best use for that would be, and kind of make a mental note of if we know that it, just off the top of my head, if we know that a certain restaurant wants to come to town, maybe that's a good spot. If a larger organization comes to town, where are the best places for them to go? So what we did, and Laura took the notes of, I drove and she wrote, but we found a lot, some that I hadn't even really noticed before too, just because you get used to seeing things a lot. So it was a good eye opener for me as well. But I think, the gist of it was really just to kind of see what's there, see the lay of the land, see what's available for future business, what could be if somebody, maybe even if there's a way that they could get a grant, if there's, maybe they need signage or something. But anyway, I think the best use of that time was just really kind of seeing for a first glance or second glance in your case, what's there, what's available, what we can do to make the town look better, especially on the main throughways. There are a lot of little pockets, like the downtown village has their own kind of vibe. Route 9 has its own vibe. The industrial parks have their own vibe. And each of the plazas obviously do too. So I think it was a good eye opener, and I think we can do more with it from here too.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, we identified 21. There was 21 either buildings or vacant land. And there was actually 2 more that I found that I think when we took a side turn, we missed parts of Turnpike. So I think where the old Hyundai was, somewhere around there. So 23, I think, altogether. And I've been mapping them out, trying to figure out what the acreage is on some of the land, because we've had some inquiries. And so I'm trying to inventory them, not as like a real estate person, but just as we do, especially Jenny gets a lot of inquiries from businesses. And so we can triangulate, if you will, right? And get all our ducks in a row so that we can present to the developer or the business, a good showing, right? What do we have available? Why Westborough? All of that stuff. So that it's all in the works, but every time we have one activity like this, I'm adding to, the whole plethora of the materials.
Love that, that's great. And that's just the ambassador, and why I want to highlight that is because we really want to utilize the talents of our ambassador committee and, you know, what you know, you guys are passionate about and how you want to kind of help grow that. So I thought that was a really good exercise, because as, you know, if we don't know what we don't know, so if we don't know there are vacancies and we don't know there's land available to be developed, it's hard for us to say to businesses, yeah, come and see us, because we don't know. So going through this kind of exercises is really good. So we're going to be working, starting in January, just on revamping, growing our ambassador committee, trying to get some more people involved in town that are passionate about business to help out. Yeah.
You know, just a quick comment on that. I think that's great to take an inventory of what's out there, and then I think maybe the next step on that is to try and do what we can to highlight Westborough as a destination for business. And I know we talked at one time, can't recall who it was exactly, about seeing if we could get listings on LoopNet or something like that, so that, you know, I don't know if anybody's been on LoopNet, but it's essentially like the Redfin or Realtor site for commercial properties. And I don't know what the guidelines ended up being for a you know, a municipality to be on there, but I was just thinking, you know, if we went through and found these properties that are available and they're being, you know, promoted by the individual owners, is there perhaps a video or something that markets Westborough that we could go to these owners and say, part of your listing, could you put on why Westborough is so great? Not just your building's so great, but Westborough is so great. And if you want to take a look at LoopNet, I can open it up. You have to have a subscription, but I can open it up. You can take a look, and there's probably a place on a listing that says, why Westborough?
Can we link it to, you know, what you did a while ago? I mean, you did that.
I mean, we have something, right?
we
We have
do.
that gorgeous
Right.
video of why
Right.
Westborough.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends what you're looking for in that. There's not a lot of detail in
Right.
that. So if you want to put some stats in, but we could certainly recreate that specifically for LoopNet or
Yeah,
specifically
no,
for that.
I really think that, you know, it
purpose.
takes the step beyond, hey, I have a building for lease, or hey, I have a building for lease in this amazing community, you
Yeah.
know?
Go ahead, Laura.
Oh, no, I was going to say, great idea. The only concern that I have is we don't have any control over any of those properties or land, right,
True.
as the town. And so I don't want to be, if it gets leased and I don't even know it gets leased, for instance, or we, you know, don't know, I don't want to be responsible for taking it up and down and.
Oh,
you know,
no, it would be
being-
part of I'm saying that I think it's probably cost prohibitive for the town. I think it's probably $1,000 a month. I have a client that does it, and it's well over $1,000 a month to put listings up. But if you could have a subset of the existing listings for these businesses or properties that you've identified, it just is us marketing on their back, so to speak.
Yeah, that's great. So I have an idea, when I cover my report, that maybe we can take your idea and,
Sure, I think if I show you LoopNet and then we look at
Yeah.
what's existing, I think we could see a way to work that together.
Jen, you have something real quick?
I do have a LoopNet subscription, so and it is expensive, you're right. Very expensive. I mean, I can pull to see what's, not just the listings on there, but there is some back-end reporting that I can try and find out a little bit more for that, if that's okay to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've definitely looked around, and there's some properties I can see out the window that are on there as well. But just to, I don't know if well, maybe the before and after stats or something like what they were at now versus if we did a little of our own marketing on there. I don't know. I just think it's probably a really inexpensive way to say what a great property and community to be in.
It is. I mean, I've done them for my own professional use. I've done some mini video tours of Westborough. I can't use them for this, but that, sorry. I've done some professional real estate videos that include parts of Westborough. I can't obviously include them for here. But, you know, part of what you were just saying too reminds me is it's the perception. Like, you know, what I was going back to saying, like, you're driving down Route 9, you see a vacant building, you drive over here. People, for whatever reason, automatically jump to the negative. Oh, Westborough is struggling. These businesses must have been going out of business. It very well might be, just like Boston Lawnmower, that they're expanding.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's part of the other reason that this was important to me, is to kind of get that negative connotation of
Yeah, no, I
empty
think
buildings out.
that's a great observation, and you know, I just think we can jump off of that and say, well, we have marketing materials in position for the town already. We're proud of our town. Can we meld those together?
Yeah.
So it's definitely food for thought, definitely. Thank you very
I
much.
think that we do need to be careful though about what level of marketing the town is doing. And I think to Laura's point, it would be difficult for her to keep that up. And so there could be a perception that you're marketing some properties and not others. So I think we just need to be careful, but it sounds like you have another idea. So, but how you would take that forward.
To be more equitable.
Yeah,
I
okay,
think-
great.
I think it's a great idea, and I do believe that we can, I think that it can be integrated in a way that.
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't
the
make
equity
any kind of-
is a good issue because not everything that's for lease is on LoopNet,
Yeah.
Right, and
So-
I did speak to many of the, we called if there were telephone numbers, and I've reached out to property owners, what are you thinking of doing with your property, things like that. And it needs work because nobody knows me. And they do not respond to my emails.
Yet.
Yet. Thank you. So, that's part of this committee and the ambassadors. And so I think if we, this is a great discussion. I think this is where, the work in between happens. And then, we can really present, something that will be wholehearted and full, and, and so forth. And then, we really sort of roll out a program,
Right.
if you will.
Well, your role's definitely multi-pronged, so that's probably part of this phase is to figure out what the priorities are, whether it is.
Everything's a priority.
Doing outreach or helping market.
Adding
vacant
jobs.
properties or
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Right,
Well,
right.
so part of this, Lara had a very good point, and what she's trying to kind of build on what we try to do successfully, unsuccessfully is, and Jenny gets it, I get them sometimes, is that businesses look for a particular property. So it's nice to be able to say that, there's 7 properties that meet your criteria and then have them kind of go on that venue. So that's more kind of fair, and we're not crossing a lot of marketing lines and things like that. So that's, I believe that's where she's driving for,
Yeah.
is to kind of match up people that come to us and say, yeah, there's 2 properties that meet your criteria, or no, we don't have any vacancies that kind of fit that bill.
How do you manage the inventory of what's available?
Well, that's what Lara's working on.
Oh, okay.
That's,
Got it.
that's
It's
part
a
of,
brand new initiative,
Right. There
right?
you
So,
It's just the nuance of matching up people who
Right.
come
right.
versus like having essentially inventory on like a website.
right.
Yeah.
Ideally, we want them all to be filled.
True.
We've actually advertised in the past, we have had like little clips of different properties that have been available. It's been on EDC in the past. Not suggesting we're gonna do that particularly, but it's not a new phenomenon. It's just kind of getting that, there are, as the manager said, a lot of nuances to this and how you rally that. I will say that Lara's taken some great strides in trying to get that kind of package to figure out where we are on that.
And the state targets priority areas, which I think we've piggybacked on, priority development areas.
Right.
And even the video, maybe updating that video with
Yeah.
some stats and putting that on, just on the EDC website, right? So even just kind of getting that front and center, someone clicks on and there's the beautiful, drone footage and all. I mean,
Yeah, just some stats about traffic counts
yeah, and all that.
and
So that
median
could be
household income and all
a
that
way
type
that we
of stuff.
utilize
Yeah.
that video maybe, so.
Yeah, that's a great point. Maybe, again, updating it and then adding some statistical
Yeah.
data for the town.
All right. So that was a good, thank you very much for taking that initiative and doing that. This is what we're here for, to expand our businesses here in town. So if we want to think about what stats we need, what we think we might want to add, if you want to pull that, and maybe we can show it at the next meeting, just to kind of let everyone know what it is, and then go from there. Sound
Great.
good? Any other discussion, question?
I know.
I know.
It's rare for me. I didn't know that. I'm taking it all in.
We're rolling because Fred and Christy and Sean all have to leave at
Sounds-
9. So,
yep.
Jenny, were you up?
Excuse me, sorry.
So as you know, we've been working with WRTA to look at the transportation in the region, Westborough, Shrewsbury, and Northborough. And the last public meeting will be virtual on Thursday, December 5th from 7 to 8:30, and they'll share their recommendations that they came up with. So the link to that is on the Planning Department webpage. I can definitely have it forwarded out to everybody as well.
Oh, so that's exciting.
Yeah, they have a couple of good recommendations, so
All right, cool.
it'll be interesting to see how it goes. The other update I have is just 210 Turnpike Road, which is a proposed Starbucks coffee shop. They're still in front of the planning board. So we have another meeting tonight where they're in front of us, and it most likely will be continued until January.
Sorry, Jenny, where is that?
It's on the corner of Route 9 and Park Street. It's across from Penta Marketing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
What road was it?
It's actually the corner.
It's the corner of Route 9 and Park
Right.
Street.
Yeah, no, you said 210.
Turnpike.
Turnpike.
Oh, it's the turn, sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna be another drive-through.
But that's going to be a new
Yes.
building, proposed as a new building.
Yes, they're planning on keeping the dentist office and budget blinds, I believe, is there, and building a new building towards the front.
Great, nice. Fred, you're not on here at all. Do you have any updates?
Just quickly, Lara update generally what's going on, but I will say after the election, it seems like we're getting a little bit more of an uptick in commercial interest anyway. I don't have anything particular to report, but I just think it's kind of moving in the right direction that way. So we hopefully will get more activity in the next few months, it seems like.
Awesome, that's great. All right, Ms. Lara.
Thank you. I will not bore you with my presentation, but I have it. So I guess the first thing I wanted to say is being new, I needed to look at the open meeting law regs, if you will, all right? And if anyone's interested, the state is having a workshop in January. It's like virtual, which I'm taking. It's, I don't know, an hour or something. So if anyone's interested in reviewing it for themselves, let me know and I'll send you the link, free, etc. But I'm definitely taking it. Essentially, though, when I send out communications, there should never be a reply all. You can reply back to me, but never a reply all unless we're really just talking about a scheduling of a meeting. No other comment because it's just violation, which I needed to learn. So
Me too.
So if there are any questions on that, please talk to me or talk to Christy or somebody. So when I send out emails, like with the minutes and things like that, if there is some changes that need to be made, just do reply to me, and not all. And then we can, and of course with minutes, of course, we talk about it at the meeting anyway. So just as a quick reminder there. All right, so last night we had our branding and wayfinding project first public meetings. Thank you to Karen and Holly for coming, and of course Fred and Jenny and Christy were there as well. I would love to hear your feedback, but essentially we had two public meetings. One was committee members and staff, and then the second one was for full just public. And the idea really was to get the flavor. What was the identity of Westborough? What do people what do people feel about Westborough? And the consultants are going to take that. I don't know how they do that, and they wrap it up into colors and images, and they do their special magic, and then they will come back with several new designs. And so that's sort of the first part of this project, is the branding piece. In between this master plan that they're building is destinations, what's important, where is this wayfinding, directional signage, where's that gonna go? So when they're done, we'll have a master plan with an idea for image and suggestions for locations. I'll call it the second phase is we'll get actual signs designed, and then ultimately we'll have them installed. I think we have to do a second RFQ
Yes.
for that second phase. Probably want to
Yeah,
get started on that.
we have the funding, but it'd
was
be a
just gonna ask
separate,
about
it's not the
funding.
same company necessarily.
Right,
So it
right.
would go
I
out
think we
as a
have to go
separate
right,
process.
yeah. So, but we have the funding for it, and everything should be completed by June of 2026. So, what I like about Beta is they're mindful of the fact that the town changes. And so they're trying to design something for us that will live with us as we grow. So the next steps for them at least is they're gonna take this public meeting that they just had and do all their things, and they'll come back with, several ideas, and we'll have other public meetings where people will get a chance to look at the designs, and give feedback, and also, like I said, talk about the destinations. Where do we wanna point to? So there's a lot of trails, there's a lot of, maybe industrial areas that we want to go to. Maybe we want to point out the golf courses that way, So anyway, they'll come up with all of that for us, which is great because I think I'm really excited for it.
So will they present their findings to us or just at a public meeting?
They'll present it I believe the process will be another, maybe 1 or 2 public. And ultimately, they present at the select board.
Yeah, more formally. I will add too, which was interesting. Hadn't thought about this, but the company that's working with us, one of the things they talked about is phone direction and kiosks. So I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, but there are going to be some suggestions about kiosks and how you direct people off of that. What
So
that
like an
means, I can't tell you 100%, but.
I think more like almost an electronic one. And they did talk about maybe we partner with the chamber who has their business directory in there and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think that's what they mean is more of like a touch board where you say, I'm looking for such and such business. Where is it? And then the map comes up, kind of thing.
So that's how it will grow with the town, so that's, yeah. Pretty cool.
If I can, Sandy, is it all right?
Yeah, of course.
So, 2 things I think are important going forward. I thought it was a really interesting meeting. One is, I think for future public sessions, it would be good to be very clear about what the project is and what it's about, because I think wayfinding and branding to your average person doesn't necessarily mean a lot. So, it's not a big jump to get from what the wording is to what we're trying to do. So I think that that's important to bring the public in, because if you don't really know what it's about, you're not going to show up to the meeting. So I heard that from a couple people who'd seen the signage, but what does that even mean? Or not the signage, well, yeah.
The billboard.
The meta. They saw the information about the meeting, but didn't know what it meant. And then the second piece was, I think it's also very important that people understand, you say we have the funding, that this was through a grant, and to make sure people understand that it's, sometimes you have a grant to come up with the plan, but not the grant to actually implement. And I think it's important for people to understand that, where there will be any tax dollars spent on this, because people are always interested in that. So I think it's important for people to understand that piece of it. So I think, especially considering that my understanding is it's funded by a grant from beginning to end, I think you'll get more people who are interested and supportive, given that.
I love that, that's great. Awesome.
Okay, anyone else have any feedback on last night? No. Okay.
That's exciting, thank you.
Okay, business updates. We've got 2 new businesses. Cousins Lobster, 108 Milk Street, their commissary. They bring in frozen lobster and then bring it into their space on Milk Street and then distribute it out through their trucks where they sell lobster rolls and things.
Will we have a permanent lobster truck here in Westborough? I'm just
Well-
asking, just for a friend.
I'll find out for you.
I thought you were going to bring us in some food every once in a while of the local businesses.
Noted,
They
noted.
go to, they're really popular when they go to Gilman's, and it's like lobster and ice cream. So that's a big event
Oh, when, in the summer?
in the summer. yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So is
they're
it
gonna-
like a production facility
Yes.
that they?
Yep.
Okay.
So the actual location is fantastic because we've had issues over the years. And it's where the old Cold Harbor used to be, so it's on the lower level. So the intent is that they process the material there, the lobster itself.
Yeah.
They package it, what they do, and they prepare the food trucks to go out. It's not to actually operate Maine Lobster there, Cousins Lobster,
Sorry, Sandy.
That's all right.
No, but it's it's kind of a great location for that because anyway, it's not bringing people into that area. That parking lot's tough, and the neighborhood would be tough to have another restaurant of some kind of food source. So what they're doing is actually a great fit for them.
But it feels like a Westboro business now because
Yeah.
they have an address in Westboro, so,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yes, I've been at Yeoman's for the ice cream.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
and the
Yeah.
truck was there, yes. And I thought that was interesting.
That's
Yeah,
great.
That's great.
And then Torito Mexican Restaurant at 291 Turnpike, they opened, so get your Mexican fix there.
Say the name again, Laura? What is it?
Torito.
Oh, Toritos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly, I was not involved. It was more just the building department, just giving them, working through the permitting process. But I have not spoken to them. I don't know anything about them.
I thought they were already open.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, they-
There's
they
another
just-
restaurant beside that. I believe it's an Indian restaurant. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. and I haven't been involved in that one.
But I thought Toritos has been there for a while.
Toritos has been there a couple of years.
That one has, but I think the reference was, and I apologize, it's probably just a little miscommunication, or I think it was Durrani's used to be next to it.
Yeah.
That has been closed for quite some time. There's another restaurant that's supposed to be, it has opened or is opening in that location. They're adjoining. They're in that same plaza.
Yeah.
So it's not the Mexican restaurant, it's the one adjacent to it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an
Sorry
Indian
about that.
restaurant, I
That's
believe.
just a little
so
confusion on
my
our
bad
part.
on that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all right, but
I'm
it's,
like, I've
it's
had
just,
margaritas there. I'm like, oh.
yeah, no, it's the same exact plaza. They're conjoined. It's one building. It's just a different operation.
Oh,
Same
okay.
owner? No.
No.
I've reached out to them, but for business assistance grant, but they have not contacted me.
Is it still Mexican or is it a different?
No, I believe it's an Indian
I
cuisine.
thought so, because they've been
Right.
working on that for a while. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, I'm really messing that one
Thank
up.
you.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
No,
guys.
that's my apologies. We didn't quite get.
And then I'm
True to
working
that.
on some permitting assistance with some signage at 166 Milk Street, Fresh Monkey. I'm doing other things, but that's just some of the main things. And then sort of what I've been up to. So I had an inquiry for 6-acre site for someplace on Turnpike. So that's sort of that's what prompted when Jennifer just showed up one day and I was like, let's do it. She said, I want to do this. And I was like, let's do it. So that's how that worked out. And that was super. So I was able to work through sort of the challenge I have is that I don't want to just say to this inquiry, hey, here's a site or two. I want to be able to say, here's our package. But I don't have that package developed yet. So it's a work in progress. But anyway, the 6-acre site inquiry, there were 6 restaurants that that have inquired and are working through. There's a Japanese, there's 2 more Indian, there's a taqueria, there's a pizza joint. And then there's another food and beer joint that's inquired and don't have spaces or might be in the middle of finding a space or, you know, not signed leases yet or anything like that. So those are up in the air. Thank you to Jennifer again for help with all that inventory because that's been super, super, super helpful. I met with Harvey's Farm. I'm in love. I think the farms are underrated, and in the future, I think Massachusetts in general has a huge economic opportunity growing its own food, and keeping farms available for that opportunity, I think, is going to present good opportunity. You know, it's going to be a great benefit in the future.
Agreed.
I was quite busy. I signed up 29 businesses, and Allison signed up another 2 businesses for the holiday passport program, so we had a total of 31 businesses. I ran around town and I dropped off all those stuff and met everybody. So again, trying to just get my name out there and my face out there. Just want to mention, in case you hadn't heard, yay, economic development bill passed at the State House. It's a lot of money, really geared towards new technologies. They've sort of revamped some of the way that some of the TIF funding runs, some of the vacant property, stuff like that. They're trying to make it a little bit easier for an applicant, I think, through this bill. So, but, you know, it should have passed in July, but whatever, December, July. I am so excited. I am meeting Bonnie Sullivan, who is also an ambassador. And I'm meeting her on Thursday at the Mass Econ meeting in Boston. And I'm having a Mass Econ 101. So one of the things that happens is when large companies or site consultants, they often go through the state when they're looking for sites, and then Mass Econ is the organization that filters those. So I really want them to know that Westborough is here, and that was sort of my preempt for that. So I'm really excited. I've been on the job now 10 weeks or so this is a big thing for me. And then thank you to the planning department. Kristen and I created a transportation survey. It's a last mile transportation request. So and then Pete Allen helped me to rewrite some of the language of how the survey reads and stuff with this marketing hat on. So I have it ready to go. It's really like less than 10 minutes. It's mostly like, where do you live? Where are you going? How do you get there? It was prompted by the WRTA meetings, but I think it might be helpful for us overall to know how some of the workers come in. Where are they coming from? Are they driving from New Hampshire? Do they live in Ashland, right? Like, where are they coming from? How are they getting here? And perhaps there might be opportunities to do some mass transportation potential. So the transportation is the survey's created, it's ready to go. I have 2 different lists, one of like manufacturers, more like the Otis Street, a little bit of Turnpike, Flanders, and then I also have it going to larger property owners who I'm hoping will distribute it to those companies that are within their properties. So I've just geared 2 emails to go in 2 different ways. So that's what I've been up to basically this month, plus, you know, all the other things that come up. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to January, really.
Any questions? Go ahead.
I have questions, if you don't mind. Couple of things. On the passport, did you have an increase of business participation from last year? Do you
No.
know?
No, we did not have it last year, but the
Oh, when was the
first-
last time you did it?
Last year before.
And there was like, that had a bus and a trolley and
No,
a,
that was the downtown.
Stroll, not the passport.
The passport's,
Oh.
yeah, passport's different.
okay, then, actually, I don't know anything about what happened in the
Okay,
past.
so
Maybe you do.
you did have the passport program before.
A couple years ago.
Oh, yeah, we've had it for several
But
years.
not last year because.
Yep, that's fine. How many did you have the first year that you did it?
The very first year Allison and I did it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think we had 12, I believe, 12.
Oh, great.
And
So
then
31
from-
this year?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
from there, I think maybe when Zach started, it was like 20, 25 maybe? Something, yeah, so it sounds like maybe we're
And it wasn't just for downtown?
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And how's it going, I guess?
We just launched it on December 1st,
December
right,
1st.
Sunday?
Okay.
So
And
we
how
did
long
like
does
you-
it run?
December 1st through December 31st.
And so are we gonna track results to see how we did, or?
There's no results, it's really, I
Well,
mean,
it's the amount of returned passports
Correct.
that we
Oh,
get
yeah.
will be the result.
Yeah, for the raffle.
Wouldn't we be curious about what that, I would be curious to see what that was,
Of
yes.
course.
well,
Okay.
you'll know because you're gonna be doing the raffle next
Right.
month.
Who's doing the raffle? Oh, we are, yes,
we are,
okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
In other words, so, sorry, the way that, okay, first of all, we're reusing old cards.
Yep.
Okay, because I had 1,000 of them, and I thought I can't just throw these away. I have to find a way to use them. So that was one of the prompts. I mean, it needs promotion, for sure, I think, but the idea is really to get everyone to shop locally, really, to think about locally. The catch will be that whatever returned cards we get will be eligible for a raffle pullout. What do you call it? Just a raffle?
raffle,
I don't
yeah.
know.
A
And-
drawing, a drawing.
excuse me. And the prizes, we don't actually know how many we have right now yet, so we don't know how many winners that we can get, but
So my question is, the passports, like you're keeping them, each company's keeping them, is your name on it? So it says you got 10, you got 5,
no.
so we're not tracking results?
Okay, so I should have brought one. So the cards have a number, they have numbers 1 through 10. It's my passport as a shopper. I carry it to stores. Those stores give me a stamp when I purchase something.
Okay.
I take my passport back. When I get all 10 stamped, then I put it in for a raffle,
So,
for the drawing. But there's 3 drop spots. Town Hall, and I'm happy to, I've got one more box if anyone else wants a drop box, but Town Hall, Forbes, and the library. So you can drop them off there once you've shopped 10 times and you get your 10 stickers.
okay, so there's 31 businesses, and so if they get 10, they get to go into the drawing. And we're gonna see all those passports, so you can track saying,
Yeah, we got-
one went to Allison's, one went to,
No, I won't know that because we all have pretty much the same stickers.
okay.
But the businesses, I mean, I
Yeah.
would hope, I mean, I am, as a business, tracking how many stamps I give out. to
Are you,
people.
Allison, tracking too?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
track, yeah.
Did you ask the businesses to track? I'm just curious because
Oh, you're right.
this is a program that can grow and be very successful because we're trying to drive business to our businesses. So I would be very curious in those results and happy to promote.
Yeah.
But my thing about it is, obviously, and this is no reflection on you, getting started very early on it to get more businesses to participate and to go back to and say, well, these businesses saw 10 visits, 20 visits,
Yeah.
whatever. You're trying to get more people to be in it. So for me, it's always, well, this is how many people visited my business. We only can grow from here, so that's the only reason why I'm asking,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I didn't, again, it's me starting in October, and
Laura,
these are
that's
all,
not
these
on
are all
you.
great, no,
Yep.
these are all great, right? This is how we, in August of next year, when we're working, this is all the things that
Yep.
we can work on, and these comments are important.
So maybe going back to the businesses and just shoot an email,
Yeah.
those are participating businesses, please track, or we can come up with different whatever, but, you know, just track so we can have some numbers and just, you know, ask. And I'm sure, like you and like, you know, you're gonna wanna know how it's going.
Yeah.
How are we promoting people getting the cards?
So all the cards are at people's business,
Okay.
or at the businesses.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but like the civic, the Christmas tree, civic, Christmas tree sale, they have them, right? I don't know if they're gonna have the opportunity to track how many they've done. I don't know how busy they are, and they're all volunteers.
Count how many stickers you've given out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, that's fine, so,
So this could
So
be a
my
baseline
other
for
question
us.
is too, and maybe this sounds a little daunting, like, for example, for just the two of you that are participating, I got this money in sales. I mean, dollars is what relates to businesses. You know, if it's, you know, whatever, 3,000, 4,000, if this really helped your business, that's what we want to put out there. We're helping business, so,
Well, I think it's a tremendous start.
Yes.
A relaunch of it. There are certainly ways that you can track it better. You can, you know, I think for under $20, you can get a customized stamp for each location or something like that if you wanted to. You also could review how many came back. Maybe the bar's too high at 10 stops. Maybe you do 5 stops for a while until you can build up a bigger kitty or something like that and make, but I think it's a fantastic start. We're glad to mail
Yes.
out a few thousand cards in the Community Advocate at no charge, if that helps. Okay.
I can bring you what I have.
Yeah, I don't know if they can be inserted as cards, so
Right.
we might have to do something. They're physical cards, yeah. So depending on the size of them, but we can talk about that. We're always glad to
They're
help with
just a
that.
business card size.
Yeah, I don't think they could physically
I don't have
be
that many
inserted.
left, because I did give them a lot out,
Good.
but there's enough that, like, if you run out, if a business runs out, I can bring them
Good.
more.
Good, yeah, we can talk about that
But
prior to
I
next year's
think they were,
promotion.
I think this original was funded by some recovery funds, and that and the $150 gift cards and the trolley, I think was all funded
Mm-hmm.
by recovery funds originally.
The
Yeah.
trolley wasn't part of that passport program. That's part,
Oh, that
part of
was
the
the
holiday
stroll.
Right.
Totally
Yeah, so
separate,
we
yeah.
need to make sure we keep that.
Yeah, but that's what I just wanted to say
Yeah.
was kudos for saving the stroll, as they call it.
Yes.
And I know, Allison, I don't know if you were involved.
Oh, yeah,
Holly-
thank you for that.
I know Holly was involved in that. That was yeoman's work because it was pretty much dead as far as I could tell. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it came back, you
So
know.
we ended up having,
Wait, hold on one second. I just want to make sure Laura finishes her report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm done, I'm
Oh,
done.
you are? You're
Yep,
sure?
thank
Okay,
you.
good, okay. So new business,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
move on. Sorry, guys. just
Thanks,
making
Dave.
sure.
we ended up,
I had another question.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
right,
ahead,
yeah.
Karen. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No.
How many questions on the transportation survey?
10?
That's it? Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
Because
it's a really short, it literally.
as long as it's just a suggestion, having done surveys. It's short, less than 2 minutes to do it, because you gotta get people to do it, because it's such valuable information. And having done surveys, it's just letting them know it's 2 minutes of the time. So 495 Partnership does the employer survey every year, and it's Yulman's job to get people to respond to it, and he involves 4 chambers to get them to help do it. So just want to say, if it's short, because when you said 10 minutes earlier, I'm like, no, 10 minutes, that's 10 minutes
Yeah,
more
I
than
didn't
I
mean
have.
to say that.
So
It's like 3 or 4 minutes.
that's fine. I just want it, and I'm sure it looks great. I'm excited about that. I think that's great. So, and do you know how many businesses total will be getting it? Any idea?
I think roughly 40 to
Okay.
50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if we want to get
I mean,
good
it
feedback,
depends.
I just was wondering how many are getting it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on whether the property owners will distribute some
Sure.
of them and who we get as response. Like Scott Rayleigh is not here, but like I would send it out to him and his people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And all along Otis Street,
Yep.
I think is really important.
How long is the survey open for?
So we're going to just do it for a couple of weeks in December. we were trying to time it with the WRTA's transportations. I don't know what, Jenny, what are they calling that? I don't even know.
It's a regional planning study.
Thank you, thank you. And it's an idea of what the last mile looks like.
Yep.
Right?
I think it's great. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. Great
Holly?
job, Laura, thank you.
I just wanted to come back a little bit to the stroll. So we ended up having 15 businesses participate. Allison and I sort of pulled it together because we've been hearing anecdotally from a lot of our customers and clients, and then from other businesses in town, and then there was some buzz on social media that people were expecting it. I think this was the 8th year, if I'm not mistaken. We skipped for COVID. And Allison and I haven't talked today yet, but I've heard back from about 10 of those businesses, and it was overwhelmingly successful. They said that it was phenomenal. I actually had a record day at my business, and I've been participating in it since it started.
Great news.
Yeah.
Great
So
news.
we were happy with it, kind of pulled it together last minute. So I just would make sure that we get that back on the agenda for next year so that we can do it,
So I think August, like we talked about, August, you're really doing that planning for December and
Yep.
just making sure, because I think, you and I were both like, when it came to the stroll, it's like, I don't know if we can pull that together in the time that we had. So thank you to you guys for doing that, because that was a decision that we made, like, we don't know if we can pull it together. So.
Yeah, and I think I just need clarification on like who does each section of that Sunday after Thanksgiving. That there's the Rotary Club, there's the Rec Department, there's the EDC. So like who does what, and like how can we as a committee help with all of them really?
Yeah, so I actually had attended a meeting it was like my second day on the job, with the Rotary Club and the Rec Department, and Shelby Marshall, I think that, she was representing the Rotary Club on that, and then Jen Kirkland was at the Rec Department. So the Rec Department organizes the parade.
Okay.
The Rotary also sort of helps with the parade, but they sell the banners to help with the lights.
The light poles,
and they
right.
work with Public Works on that piece, and the police department and all of that. So what I would suggest is at the next, at that next year, I invite a business representative, right, to be a part of it. I showed up because I think EDC had been a part of it in the past. Or Fred just grabbed me and said, come to this. I honestly I was like, I don't know what is going on. So I didn't really.
Right, and like last year, I think we had a new EDC director around the same time, so it was a little confusing. And then this year I don't think there was communication that was clear enough to us that there was no official stroll. And, the idea of, businesses participating in the parade, great. Dress your windows, great. But that's not boots on the ground people in our businesses seeing what we do every day. And that, as a small business owner, is the most important thing to me. And especially in a year like we've had with, we're in businesses that people have to spend discretionary income on, and with the inflation and election year, it was a tough year. So to not have that opportunity to have people come into our businesses was a little bit of a shock to us this year. So I think, it absolutely has to be on our agenda for next year, that we've just always, our business was lucky enough to open the first year that it was done. So it's always been Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Stroll Sunday. We just know that this is what's coming up. And we as business owners, from anecdotal emails and discussions that we're having with other business owners were a little taken aback that it was not on the agenda this
duly
year.
noted, and I will
And
I'll take
especially just as
responsibility
a
for that.
community event. Honestly, you know, we never look at it as a moneymaker that day. We do it as a community event, kids coming in, making their whatever, and enjoying that. But I heard it so many days, so many times. I was lucky enough to do a pop-up at Holly's that I didn't know that you were here. I've lived in Westborough 3 years. It's like, those are the kinds of things that are so important to us as small business owners, trying to eke it out every single day. So that day
Christmas is
so
in July
important.
now, okay? And that's when everything starts. That's the reality.
Absolutely.
So it's well said.
Like
that,
July bodies are made in February. Our businesses for Christmas start in July.
It does,
Yeah.
it really does,
Yeah.
and getting
Yeah.
everything ready for it. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
does it make most sense that the Rotary, you know, does the lighting, rec does the parade, and the EDC does the business building components?
I think
I
that's
think
what
so.
has been done in
Yeah.
the
It
past.
just makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know what this, so when the stroll, I will need to have more, or there will need to be more direction as to what does the stroll mean,
And
right?
we're happy
And
to do
who
that.
who can participate, and what does it mean? So in that program, I think needs to be, I think you guys have it. It just needs to be a little bit more formalized. Is it like the Halloween where, you know, businesses participate? Like, those kinds of things just need to be sort of more
Clear.
more clear
Yeah.
and developed.
Right. I think
Well,
we just
for
didn't
me,
have enough time.
I'm so sorry. For me, the the passport program and all that is driving business. That's our goal,
Right.
right? That's the EDC's goal. So, I mean, the Halloween to me is a wonderful community event, but I think you've created something, and the stroll is to create. Here's the businesses in our town, right?
Right.
And that can only grow.
Right.
Could just
And
grow.
And I represent some people on Lyman Street, and they were very interested in participating and have in the past, but you know, because
Yeah.
of timing, we're not able to this year.
Yeah.
But that would involve, you know, one even volunteered, Salmon even volunteered their van
Yep.
to work as a shuttle and all sorts of things. So if we
Yeah.
start early,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
just
can be
early,
huge.
yeah.
It can be huge. It can be
We
a
get the
destination.
mistake
Well,
for this year, for
and
sure, you know.
Just one last thing, we already have all that in place. The structure's in place. We did, when we did it with the trolley a couple years ago, I think it went well, and we could involve other businesses that weren't just downtown. So it's there. We just need to get it going a
So I
little
think the
earlier.
structure, whatever we
Yep.
have, the structure
Yep.
needs to go to Laura, because I don't think, in whatever record she has, you know, it was just,
Oh, well, also, there's so many components to it, which that was a great question. The recreation department, the Rotary, and then we're trying to promote the business part of it. It does seem that a meeting of all the leaders to get together saying, because we all want to help self-promote all of it. So, and I think starting early in next year will make a bigger impact. It's a great thing, so, yeah.
and just so you guys know, the Rotary doesn't just help fund it, they fund. They
I
fund
know
it.
you
They raise
do.
money to fund it, it's, you know, so.
And seeing the video,
community
that,
event.
it's a wonderful thing, yeah.
So just one last thing. You mentioned earlier, Lara, about having some business owner representatives have a seat at the table. I think that's critical, so that would be great for next year, too. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Next year's gonna be a powerhouse year.
Well done to all you business leaders putting it together, Allison and Holly. It's a lot of work.
Great.
Yeah, and
And Laura, your piece in getting people involved in it too. Well done.
and we promote the passport, I don't know if you can put the passport on Westborough TV.
I made a little note about it.
Thank you,
Yep.
yeah.
Excuse me, I had a couple things, if that's okay.
Excellent.
One is just, Laura, you were mentioning the whole idea of Westborough and the farming component, and kind of what a treasure that is in town, and I think a renewed interest across the board and kind of that farm to table. But we're doing a new podcast at Westborough TV. Somebody approached me and wanted to do a podcast on food, farms, and community. And so if for some reason you'd want to get connected with her and do a piece talking specifically about Westborough, or you have any ideas on that, but she, I we maybe even are filming one tomorrow, well, recording one tomorrow with the head of the Greater Worcester County Food Bank, and kind of the connection with the local produce and all of that. So anyway, that's a new podcast that we will have on Westborough TV. And then the other thing is, I kind of creepily stood outside of Seed to STEM the other day.
That was
with
creepy.
with my coffee, and no, my daughter was in there, and I had the dog. I couldn't go in with the dog, so she was in there taking a long time shopping. But I thought it was kind of. I started talking to a couple of people as they were walking in and out, and then as Callie was spending more money, I kept talking to people as they were coming in and out. And one thing that, I mean, we all know, but I was standing there getting some anecdotal evidence of the number of people who were coming in that aren't from town. So I talked to people from Southborough and Northborough and Hudson and Boston, who had come in, and normally when I was talking to them, well, how did you hear about it? And a lot of them had gone to Worcester, and like the people from Boston said, this is so much closer than going all the way to Worcester. And then the other thing they were doing, and I kind of overheard them, and then as people were coming out, I was kind of directing them. I was being my own little wayfinder out there, but visiting the other businesses, So somebody said, I hadn't been to Westborough in years, and it's cute. This is a cute downtown, and people trying to get across the street to get over to Red Barn to buy some coffee after they were there, but. That is the kind of thing where, again, you have a new business and you have people coming in because of those businesses and then supporting the other businesses. So it was just kind of neat to hear the number of people who were showing up that business is drawing to town and again, supporting the other businesses. So I thought that was great.
I think that's a real success story. I was, I'm right next door to it, and I've been watching them do the work, and I'm just dazzled by what they've pulled off, and it's basically what we need. We need stores like Holly's. We need stores like Seed to STEM that are truly unique destinations and things like that. And I just never expected it. When somebody told me what it was, I'm like, it's a what? It's a flower store with skeletons? But that's what it was described to me as. And then I go in, I'm like, this is so cool.
What was it described to you as?
A plant store with skeletons in it. Yeah. No, well, my editor is a younger, hipper person than myself, so she goes to the one in Worcester and talked about it, and I'm like, really, I'm gonna have to look because I don't know what you're talking about, But it was just cool the way it's displayed, the vibe, the way the people are, the kind of out of the box redecoration of the building, a little bit of lighting. That's what we need. We don't need any more insurance. No offense to insurance people. We don't need any more insurance agencies downtown.
Yeah, it's more of a walking downtown. But I think
Right.
one of the things you just said is, I've been thinking a little bit about the businesses coming in. Wayback Burgers has a couple locations. They now moved to Westborough. Seed to STEM is in Worcester. They moved to Westborough.
Right.
We've got the Coop, right? They've got. So it's interesting to see if we can get some of these regional places to have, that already have a
Presence.
name established to come here, right?
Yeah.
And
Or
so-
even tap into their Worcester audience that would like to see how they expanded.
Yeah.
A franchise is a franchise, but a Seed to STEM is
Yeah.
going to be a reinvention of what they conceived out there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's just interesting to kind of see that.
No, it
Laura,
was
did you
it
have
was
something?
refreshing, I have to say.
Jennifer did.
Jennifer?
You and a lot of you are picking up on something I wanted to say about that, because a couple of things. If I'm jumping out of line, I apologize. I'll ask forgiveness, permission. The social media aspect that you were talking about, and this kind of all ties together about promoting the businesses, getting the between the holiday stroll, the new businesses, whatever. Is there a way, I don't know who's managing it, like for example, the EDC Instagram page is blank. If we can.
I don't have access to an Instagram account, so I don't even know we had one.
We do. Look, we do. We've got 14 followers, but nobody's on
I
it,
can
so-
try to log on and try to figure that piece out, but that's part of it,
Right.
that we don't know what's,
Yeah.
also, I'm not a marketing person in
I won't
this,
mind helping,
you know what I mean?
is what I'm getting at.
And we have to be very cognizant that we are the town government, right? So we have to be careful about how or what we promote. So that I would, but yes, I'm all in on beautiful pictures on Instagram and, you know, what is our downtown? Come and visit. Or, you know, let's visit the train station and get a donut. You know, I don't know about Instagram.
In recognizing that we have, you know, that there are probably some rules with municipalities or government, you know, that and I fully recognize it. So I'm talking as outside of a real estate agent, outside of general person. I'm talking, you know, there should be some way, you know, again, with those guidelines or rules, whatever they might be, you know, to be able to start promoting a new business, to start promoting the holiday stroll. Like, I didn't do the Facebook event, like I talked about on the group email, because when I got your email, I was like, all right, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this or not, so I just halted that. But, you know, if we even introduce the EDC, you're a brand new face to town. People, like you said, people don't know you yet. But maybe if there's a way that, you know, whether it's through promotion, through an article, through
Shelby's radio show?
Shelby's radio show, but putting that face to the name. I don't mind helping with the social media aspect. I'm on it all day long, unfortunately. You know, and like I said, with where you were going with people had no idea what the wayfinding was. And I was trying to step in as generally speaking as I could, you know, to correct people or let them know it was a grant. So I don't mind helping, you know, if somebody else has to have access to it too, you know, getting those kind of promotions out. But I do think that maybe, you know, a press release or something about with you. So when people do hear from you, they know who you are. Maybe a quick bio about each of you, a quick bio about the ambassadors. You're going to be hearing more and more about the EDC to give us more of a presence rather than
Well,
just.
I love what you're saying, and I think, you know, I think it came up a couple times with the group emails and you know, open meeting laws and all that type of stuff. We absolutely have to abide by the guidelines. However, I think it's you're the liaison that allows us to push that barrier into where can we market to make some noise about Westborough.
Yeah, you guys can do anything you want, right? You're as private, not anything, but you know what I'm saying. You're although you're representing this committee, but as an individual, you could also, if you're separate, right, you can promote anything that you want. It's the Westborough EDC or the Westborough town Facebook pages that has to be more cognizant, right?
Right. And knowing that
So
there's
Jen,
no
I want to piggyback on what you just said, because you're right, marketing is everything, right? And so we have amazing marketers in this room, and video is very powerful. Having a video about visiting the businesses and stuff from last year to put up. Now, there were people that visited, that videotaped the parade. It was on one of the Facebook pages too, but her stopping by and visiting some businesses and that getting out really earlier, obviously the newspaper, there's so many forums to get the word out. Obviously you have a Facebook page, but your point is well taken. We all have Facebook pages to get things out too, I agree, or social media.
I mean, too much of anything is too much. So, I mean, if I, on my own
Agreed.
personal, start talking about the beach too much, you'll all be bored. Like, I as individuals, you know, we can promote certain things, but I
Yep.
think as long as there's no rules against, because there has to be some kind of, I know there are requirements, but I don't think there's anything against a municipality using their pages to do that. So if the EDC, I'm talking as the EDC, can, you know, promote whatever it is, like I said, getting to know each of you so that when people hear from us, they'll know to expect it.
So Laura,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a great
what would be-
idea.
What would be a great idea is just to find out what the guidelines are, right? So let's get the guidelines of what are we allowed to do as far municipalities. Personal, we can do that. I want to be mindful of time too. So I think that would be a great next step is what are the guidelines? What are we allowed to do? You know, and then, you know, kind of go from there. And then who's going to approve posts before they go out? You know, who has that approval? For that. So I totally agree. I really feel like we're going to walk into 25, very strong committee. We're all really committed. This is not going to be a fluff committee. We're moving, and we're going to make sure that, you know, next year holiday is going to be even better. I mean, being a part of the Rotary Club, obviously I love it, and having as many people that were there the other night and what a vibe and what a blast it was, you know.
Arctic blast, yes.
But it was, I had heated stuff on. I had my heated glove and I was fine.
Yeah, the videos looked pretty exciting.
But it was
yeah.
really a great event and great kind of community event. So I think we've really got some momentum to build on. So I think our next kind of thing right now is really focusing on the awards and making sure that April, we really nail it and we get as many people that we can into the Great Hall. You know, so if we do need to get a couple of sponsors, which I know my company will be happy to sponsor for decorations or for whatever we need to do to really kind of amp it up and just kind of get us rolling again. So I'm excited.
Well, as the newspaper, we have an opportunity to see what's going on in different downtowns and different, you know, business communities. And, you know, all of a sudden we're talking stroll, we're talking passport, we're talking lighting, we're talking parade, and there are communities that we serve that are doing a tree lighting. So
Right.
it's,
This is an event.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you see the level of commitment, so it's just keep building on it.
Allison, you brought up a great point, which I never even thought about, because my business is not a retail, but I run, right? So Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, the stroll, didn't even, like, that was like, oh, okay. So.
We call it the trifecta.
Yeah. Is there any other new business, anything else? One more,
Very
you got 1
quickly.
minute.
I did, you might have seen it, a very unofficial grassroots survey of what people would like for businesses in town. On one of the social media groups that I do run, the Best of Westborough, some of you might remember seeing what kind of businesses do you want? And there were a lot of really interesting responses to that. So if you want for the next meeting, I'll be happy to kind of collectively put what they're looking for, because that's from the people themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Great. Any other comments,
It's
questions?
an amazingly vibrant meeting, that was great.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. You're going to be so happy with us, Ezra. I thank you all this morning. What a great discussion, and excited to really focus on the awards. Karen, thank you for everything that you do as far as when we're like, hey, we want video, and you just say yes. So I really do appreciate that. Dave, you as well, with your resources. Jenny, always a pleasure. Karen, thank you. Laura, I mean, 10 weeks in, what you've accomplished, getting the passport up and running, just everything that you've done has been, I'm so excited to see how we get through the holidays. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Somebody want to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everyone.
And
Thank
Dave,
you.
thank you for all the articles.